This episode is brought to you by Mortgage Workflow Partners and the Mastering Encompass series, both for users as well as administrators. You can find out all the information about it over at masteringencompass.com. Also, if you'd like to check out what we're doing on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel using the @MasteringEncompass handle. And make sure you stay up to date on all the information, not just with podcasts, but also video content that we bring to you as often as possible. Now let's get on to the episode. Ta-da! Larry Bailey, Mortgage Workflow Partners, Mastering Encompass Live Events, August 1st, 2023. Holy crap, it's August. I don't know about you, but what the frick happened in 2023? Welcome. We are getting together, as always, on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. Get over to the mortgage community. It's free to join. No strings attached. You can work for whoever you want to. That's not up to us. If you're in the mortgage industry or you want to be in the mortgage industry and you want to learn, especially about Mastering Encompass, get to this live event. If you're watching us on replay, thank you. But we'd love to have you here live. If you're listening to us on podcast, again, thank you. But we want you here so you can ask questions, poke holes in various theories that we float around. But most importantly, just hang out. So for those, oh my gosh, Sharon Starkey showed up. What? Boston's in the house. Watch out. We got Candace and Reed and Angela and Jolene. Jolene, all the way. Hopefully you're staying safe. I'm sure you're sick of smoke and fire, etc. Chris, I have no idea where you are in the world. I'm sure you're somewhere. So the goal is obviously we get together, we talk. It's open Q&A. This 30 minutes that we spend with each other is meant to answer any questions that you have going on, challenge any theories that you want to have going on, look for insights, not only from me, but also from everybody else. You can use the chat. You're in Indiana. So I'm going to be in Indianapolis in a couple weeks. I don't think that's anywhere near South Bend. I do not know Indiana at all. But that's where I'm going to be. So the idea is 30 minutes. We talk about things that are important to you. And I usually have a topic. Today's topic is all about, as a loan officer, what can you use Encompass on the web to make you better? What can what are the things that are important to focus in on as a loan officer using Encompass on the web? This is important as admins because you have to create value if you want people to use the things that you want them to use. So I always look at operations first, then I look at sales, then I worry about the executives, because if I can make ops people happy and then I can make salespeople happy, executives are a no-brainer. So that's what we're talking. That's the topic, at least for today. Use the chat if you have anything. As always, if you have a question and you want to come up on stage, just give me the heads up and we'll bring you up on stage. Assuming you have a mic at least, and that'll be it. So that's the intro. Any questions out of the gate besides the topic that we're here, that I brought, at least with the leveraging Encompass on the web as a loan officer? If you have any questions, let me know. I'll go ahead and start sharing them. Looks like everybody just came to chill out, which is totally cool. All right, so I'm going to share a screen properly. And I don't see I see the screen shared over there, so I know it's being shared over here, which is great. So if you haven't seen Encompass on the web, you haven't been coming or watching the replays over the last few weeks, I'll forgive you, but make sure that you are at least aware of Encompass on the web. Doesn't mean you have to use it, but it does mean that you have to be aware of it. And the easiest way is to go to encompassloconnect.com. I have no idea what the domain eventually will be. I can't imagine it will only ever be Encompass LO Connect, but whatever it's going to be, that's where you'll go. And when you log in as an admin, you'll have this waffle. Now, if you are not an admin, in your loan officer, you're just going to see pipeline opportunity, prospects, and packages. So the things that I'm going to talk about are when I'm a loan officer using Encompass on the web, how can I use this thing, again, to make me a little bit better, faster, at least look smarter to other people, kind of a thing. And the first thing is pipeline. So I just have a standard iPhone, encompass.ice.com. Thanks, Reed. I wonder if that works. Let's go try that right now. Hey, it does. Let's go try it here. See if it works. Nope, doesn't like me. So cool. I don't know why not, but thanks, Reed. I'll check it out. Thanks for posting that. So I can tell you this, when earlier this year, so I had my MLO. Again, I got it last year because I had to help a company basically rebuild their company. And so part of that was to talk to borrowers, and to talk to borrowers, you're supposed to be licensed if you're talking terms. So I went and got my license, and I needed to be able to really leverage the Consumer Connect platform as a loan officer to really find the best workflow for this particular client. So I did all that, and I found myself leveraging Encompass on the web exclusively for just pipeline view. I had two main pipeline views that I used. The first pipeline view that I used was called Main, like literally just like you see it on here. And it was basically everything that was anything. I could find any loan that I wanted everywhere that I could access it. And then another one I picked, which I didn't put in this environment, but another one I picked was estimated to close for this month. So yesterday it would have been estimated closing for July. Today it'd be estimated closing for August. And as a loan officer, it's very, very important to know what loans you're closing, because that's how you usually get paid. And so for LO Connect, the reason why it's complete winner is because no matter where they are, if they have access to the internet and they have an enabled device that gets to the internet, you can go, it's a web browser, you can go and log in and check it out. So everything behaves like normal. You know, they can only see the loans that they are supposed to be able to see, assuming they were on desktop. And the pipeline views that are here are what they would normally see in desktop. Everything transfers right over. So it's super simple. Obviously, you can see, you can scroll left to right. So if I looked at this pipeline view in my desktop, I would see the same things, as far as the data is concerned. So from a pipeline, from a loan officer on the web, using Encompass on the web, the ability to get to their pipeline real quick is great. I didn't do this much, but obviously if you click in the loan, you can get to all of this information inside the loan. Now, again, that wasn't my purpose. The only thing I did do, if I went in here, is I went to borrower information, and I went in to find a borrower's phone number or email. That was it. If I went into a file, it was specifically because I didn't have their phone number or their email address. So it was easy. On a phone, you can click, you can tap to call, tap to text, copy, paste. Again, LO's dream when you need to get a hold of somebody really quick. Luba asked a question, in your experience, is the Encompass on the web less dependent on the reliability of the internet? So if they were using Wi-Fi, it actually does work on airplane, no problem, 100%. So Luba, it's not like the handshake problem that we have when you're using like desktop version on an airplane, which might work. To Brian's point, where normal Encompass would crash because of that jitter handshake thing. No, it doesn't. If you lose, like if I were to lock the computer, there's a 5-minute timeout. I'm not quite sure where that is, but there's a 5-minute timeout. And basically, if you don't click continue within the 5 minutes, it boots you out. So if for some reason you lose connection to the browser for a minute and then you come back, it actually still thinks you're there. So it's super cool. Hopefully that answers your question, Luba. Luba, you've got to fly to Hawaii and you could test it. And that's the way you know it works. Because if you can get to it over the Pacific like I have, it's rock solid. Sure, you buy me a ticket? Yeah, no problem, Luba. Let's work that out. So pipeline is the first thing. So any questions before I move on? to outside of Pipeline. Anybody have any questions? Do you want to come up and ask directly, or you can use the chat? But Pipeline is a huge deal for most people in sales because they not only want to be able to see their information, but if they've built a personal pipeline view on their desktop, they will see their personal pipeline view in the web. So it's so great. Chris says, do business rules and code built in Encompass desktop carry over to Encompass on the web? Yes. Remember that Encompass is Encompass. Now, obviously, input form code doesn't travel. But whether your TPO is updating the loan file, or your loan officer is updating the loan file, or even your borrower is updating your loan file, depending on the kind of rule you're running, that will happen, Chris. So, if the loan officer changes the last name to, Smith, and that causes something to happen in the background, it'll happen. Obviously, there's exceptions. It can't fire an email unless you're using SMTP. It can't fire simple field data entry business rules always, depending on how you have your controls set up. So depends, Chris. It's like yes, but kind of a thing. So hopefully that helps you. Sharon says, hey, Larry. Hey, Sharon. All of our LOs work on VPN when at home. We have LO Connect and they don't use it. Is web mandatory? Is the web a mandatory? No, not today. And I don't know when it will be, right? I mean, who the hell knows what ICE is going to do? There are so many companies that are going to never leave desktop, I imagine, because again, like we talked about last week, the input form builder on the web is so different than input form builder on desktop. I imagine there's going to be some companies that will maybe never leave desktop. Who knows? But I think from a sales perspective, the one thing, if you're using a VPN, you probably have IP restriction, Sharon. So one of the questions that comes up a lot is, can you IP restrict the web? And I believe the answer is yes, but I would encourage you to double check because I have not asked ICE that question recently. And I believe the correct answer is yes, but I would always double check, especially if your policies and procedures demand that you have IP security. All right, so I'm going to move on before I run out of time here to the next part, which is prospects. So prospects for loan officers are incomplete applications. It's a different concept. It's a paradigm shift from if you're using Consumer Connect and you've got these incomplete apps that just kind of sit out in the ether and nobody ever checks on them. Well, this takes that paradigm and says, listen, if you're using Consumer Connect and you make sure that the loan applicant recipient has been used, whether it's a default loan app recipient or it's the actual loan officer as a loan app recipient, prospects are your incomplete applications, which is actually the intention. The intention of Consumer Connect when it came to incomplete apps was someone's supposed to work those things. Now remember, these are 24 hours old. So ICE doesn't give you like real-time results. So if somebody went to your web page now and they only filled out the first 3 things and then they don't go back, you're not going to know that until tomorrow. So you want to make sure that you visit this reliably and consistently. As a reminder, the RESPA 6. If a file hits RESPA 6, but they never actually submitted, it doesn't matter. So that's what this is trying to tell you. And this is important from a compliance perspective because if the borrower thinks they applied, guess what? They applied. So you want to be really careful if you do allow a complete lights out application that results in a RESPA file, you need to make sure you pay attention to your incomplete applications, please. So sorry if I totally butchered your name, Maya Newell Large. Speaking of Consumer LO Connect, this is a question for the group. Has anybody ever had the instance of one LO suddenly not receiving the emails that, quote, a loan has been submitted? The CC field of the email sends, but there's nothing in the to field, even though the LO is selected in the application. The LO is listed and the email is not on the bounce list. and IT has confirmed there are no emails even coming through for the LO in question. So the question I would always have is the loan officer the loan app recipient in the workflow? So in other words, I don't know if you're using. Do you want to come up on stage? They are. So do you have a mic? Like, can you come up on stage real quick so we can kind of get through it? Do you have that? Maybe. If not, no big deal. So are you using Consumer Connect websites or are you using widgets? That would be my next question, because again, the differences of functionality website. So it gets a little complicated. I have seen this to where you think the borrower's clicking what you think, but they're actually not, which results in the LAR not being received as what you think. So if you did a test application in Encompass, so just to kind of give everybody, I'm not logged into Encompass, sorry, but if you go into Encompass and you go to Consumer Connect Admin, yeah, this is going to be web settings. This isn't Consumer Connect Admin. So I can't really do it here, but I would encourage me to start yeah, but when you say you select the LO, that doesn't, so just again, selecting the loan officer in the dropdown doesn't necessarily mean who the loan applicant recipient is. It doesn't dynamically change the workflow like that. The workflow that you select in your website is actually what defines the loan app recipient. So there might be some work to be done on that. Maybe we can go through it together in a thread in the community if you want, or if we can try to figure it out. But it's definitely something. What's happening possibly is a break between the loan applicant recipient in your workflow and what you see happening in the choice as a borrower. So great question. I definitely want to help. Right. And so Rob's talking about the button. So that talks about the loan app recipient. So I want to keep on focusing on the loan officer when it comes to LO Encompass on the web. I would ask you to please start a thread in the community under Encompass Q&A. And so we can keep this conversation going as an entire community, not just the 15 or so folks just in this call. Definitely want to make sure you get the help you need. All the other LOs get the email. Yeah, start the thread, definitely, because there's some stuff in there that I know Rob's got experience with. I do. We can get into the weeds with more time and focus. So this part right here, the incomplete applications, again, is important just to watch. Now, the next thing that's super powerful is opportunities. So when you have a borrower who's interested but hasn't yet applied, as a salesperson, you're trying to focus with the borrower on moving forward. And so if you go in to create a new opportunity, this is a way to do like a quick conversation. And so this is typically what loan officers dream about, because they don't want to go into their test file. They want to be able to go somewhere real quick to enter basic information. You're getting a 4-and-4 opportunity. Well, Brian, you just can't. I guess you just don't have the ability to create opportunities. I don't know why you're getting an opportunity. 404, that sucks. Yeah. Don't know. Can't answer that one. But I can tell you when it works, what you do is, you create the information, baseline information. You can add co-borrowers. You can identify if it's a first-time home buyer. You can just ask the borrower what they think their credit score is. You can enter in basic information. You can select from different drop-downs. You can select from different states. Guys, this is all leading up to running product and pricing. So the question Luba asks is opportunities tied to Consumer Connect, or can you use it if you don't use Consumer Connect? It's got nothing to do with Consumer Connect, Luba. So even if you don't use Consumer Connect, what you're doing is you're going to get pricing, and the pricing you're getting here has to do with what you have set up in your Encompass. So if you're using OB or Poly or EPPS, et cetera, this is where you're going to set up your service providers, going back to your company over here. So in your admin, your services management, this is where you're going to set up your PPE, your product and pricing engine, so that when your loan officers go to do their opportunities, they can quickly go in to get their pricing. I don't know. All right, Brian, did you break Encompass? Like, what's going on here? You're going to ruin my demonstration. So anyway, you get the idea. And so I can't display it for you because I don't have access to product and pricing. I've tried this and it just doesn't work for me because my systems aren't tied together. But when you come in, our opportunities like a sandbox for scenarios. Yeah, Angela. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. I don't know, Brian. I don't know if the IP is somehow, the URL is somehow blocked. I have no idea. But let's try to figure it out. Oh, you don't have opportunities enabled, Brian? Yeah. So if you go in, I'm going to run out of time here, but if you go in, you do have to enable opportunities for Encompass on the web. And after I do this, I'll go back and make sure you know how to enable opportunity. Sorry. If you haven't updated to enable opportunity, you won't have access to it. So don't let me forget that. Opportunities won't flow to Encompass. So when you're in the, so when you're in this loan, you'll see that it's draft, right? So when we come in, if I wanted to add in a new scenario for Johnny test, whatever, I can do that. So the opportunity is not tied into a particular borrower. Again, if I come in and I create a new one, I'll just create one for Candace. And if you don't mind if I give you money, do you? Right. So if I do at email.com, I'm just making this thing up. And there. And the base monthly is, Candace, you make what, like 150,000 a month, right? And your credit score is 850, of course. So, we can see we come in here and we can select a purpose and you can do your cash out and, we'll do that. The property's value is, $200 million. And then I'll have you living at my place because, you're going to give me the money once I lend it to you, right? And so I am, it doesn't like when you pre-fill. Sorry, Google. New Jersey. There we go. Lien position, right? Occupancy, and you can see a lot of this stuff is intuitive. When you come through, you select your loan products, term, and then you select your rate. And your course, Candace, you want a 4% rate, and your unpaid balance is $444,000. That's it. That's it. So I'm telling you, from a loan officer perspective, that's a friggin' dream. I'm telling you right now, that's a dream. So that's why I want to do this, and that's why I'm an advocate as an admin. You got to know about this stuff to do this. So what happens once you get the information back, Luba, is you can convert the opportunity. And the other thing that happens is with opportunities, you can enable these letters that go out to borrowers for qualification. So basically pre-qual letters, and you have to be really, really careful about this topic right now. There's a lot of states coming down on lenders issuing pre-approval letters versus pre-qualification letters. Please check with your corporate governance on if you're allowed to do this. So in any event, the takeaway is there's a ton more information. If I've wet your whistle, if you think there's value in this, we can go on and on. And I do this in the loan officer training that we go through to try and show salespeople like, Encompass can really do a lot more than what you're typically exposed to. So in here, this is a way for you to leverage Encompass on the web to, again, ideally, they came in from possibly a quick app, or maybe somebody just talked. You created an opportunity for the person. You can do their qualification, their back of the napkin qualification, and then ultimately from here you can create these opportunity letters that go out for qualifying. I can't do that yet because I haven't been able to run pricing. So how would this be different than running pricing in OB? Because it's specific to the borrower and you can run multiple. I can grab 10 different scenarios on here, Luba. I know I didn't show you that because I kind of skipped around. But when we come over and get pricing, you can select up to 10 different scenarios in the output from your PPE. I don't think OB can do that. So that's the one big thing. And if OB can, which I'm pretty sure it can't, other PPEs can't, like EPPS can. I know Poly can't. Even Lender Price and some others can't. They can only give you a display, and then that's it. But to build a scenario for your borrowers when they're going like, I don't know if I want to buy, I want to refi, maybe I want to think about a second home versus an investment. These are all things your salespeople are dealing with every single day. And to give them a platform to be able to do that seamlessly when you're already paying for it in your success-based pricing with Encompass, dude, you're brilliant. You're a genius. Angela, can you convert this to an app that flows into Encompass? Yes. And again, I think with this recording, I'll put a bunch of the Encompass help on here that you can go through and you can, it's all right here, right? So how you manage it, there's so much to go through with Encompass on the web for loan officers. This is, how you can manage it. I would encourage you to dig in and find out for yourself to see if it's worthwhile in your company's workflow. How'd I do? Good topic. Wait, I think there was one more. Wait. Tasks. Shit, forgot about tasks. It's not in your face obvious, but the other thing that's important here is tasks. So from a loan officer perspective, again, we typically think all about sales. But if you're the kind of company that focuses on loan officers who have to do things on files, using the workflow tasks that I talked about a few weeks ago, and you create the task and you assign it to the LO, boom, all their tasks show up here. So they know if they've got to go chase down a document, pre-closing or post-closing, those kinds of things. We can get me enabled Thursday. Yeah, we'll post it up there, Brian. You can check it out. Angela asks, would the opportunities be more efficient than loan comparison? 1,000 million trillion %, Angela, because like I just showed you, I can go through here, I can create an opportunity like this, and I can go pull pricing like that, and I can pull up to 10 different scenarios, and you can only do 3, and you can't pull pricing for each one of those scenarios in Encompass Desktop. So it's not even close. It's not even like the same universe. Awesome. Rob, you know me. If you find something and you know how to exploit it, please share with the community. You got to share stuff you guys learn. No, Luba, this is in your success base. Like there's nothing extra. Like it's free. You're already paying for it. So is that free? I don't know. But if you're not using it, you're losing it. Wait, what are you saying? No, it's like showing the borrower loan fees. Oh, no. You mean like printing? So remember, this is like this is outside of Encompass, right? So the file doesn't exist yet. So if you wanted to send like a pre-application fees worksheet, at that point, the borrower's got to, depending on how you build your opportunity letter, you can define that. But remember, we're not in Encompass file here. So there's no loan template set. There's no program. There's no closing costs. Like you're way before that moment. I think that's what you're asking. So, guys, dig into this. Thank you very much, as always, for coming to these. I try to keep these to 30 minutes. Candace, good luck with your loan. I'm sure you'll get the approval any minute, any day. It's coming in the mail. After you pull pricing, you can create loan. Yeah. EPPS. That's what I'm talking about, Rob. Like I'm telling you, maybe we'll do one. Again, I don't have like an active system. Maybe Rob, you build out a scenario and you and I will do like a private meeting and then we'll record it and we'll put it in the community to show somebody else as like a part 2 of this. Deal? All right, cool, Rob. Always appreciate you, bud. Guys, thank you very much. Go forth and conquer, succeed. And if there's anything Mortgage Workflow Partners can ever do for you, please let us know. Appreciate it. Guys, have a great day. Thank you. You got it, Chris. Thanks, Kristen. Kirsten. I don't know how many times I do that. Kirsten, have a great day. Everybody have a good one. Ending now. Bye-bye.